Well, hello there. Good morning. Welcome once again to another edition. Yes, Wednesday's edition of Breakfast Central on News Central. My name is Olisa Chukuma.
And I am Felicity and Glad you could join us. As always, we have a full package.
Yes, indeed. It's the last day of March 2021. So,
do we do happy month end?
Yeah, we can.
Because we always do happy new month. So I think it's time we begin to do happy month end. So happy month end to you.
Yeah, the year's running already.
And to you.
It's running. I don't know where to. Just yesterday was Happy New Year.
Yeah,
and today is 31st of March.
So don't hesitate on those New Year resolutions. The year is 3 months old, going to 4 months now.
Or perhaps change them if you may. Right then, well, you can join the conversation on the program and let us know where you are watching from. Just use the hashtag NCBreakfastCentral and follow us at News Central TV and head to our website for more. That's www.newscentral.africa. And you can also download the News Central TV mobile app. Just head to your Play Store or iOS.
Today on the show, we have some news stories to keep you updated with what you may have missed over the night. The morning tea is also on the menu. We'll be taking you around the continent, capturing some of the newspaper headlines. Then, of course, our impact conversation. Today, we'll be discussing something that seems taboo to some people: sanitary products. We're looking at the removal of VAT on the product, also known as the tampon tax by the Namibian government, and what it means for the girl child in the country and across Africa.
Yes, we'll also have some sports update for you with the First Lady of Sports, Onyechi Barrow. She'll give us the latest on the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who played for the first time in Lagos yesterday after 20-year hiatus. And we'll have what's the latest on our timelines from the social media info space. But first, some of the stories that to keep you up to date from the news.
The International Criminal Court has upheld the war crimes conviction against the Congolese rebel leader Bosco Ntaganda, the former commander who was named the Terminator because of his brutality. He had appealed against his 30-year jail sentence given to him in 2019.
He was found guilty on 18 counts, including murder, rape, and using child soldiers, and the use was the first person to be convicted by the court for sexual slavery. Now, the charges related to crimes carried out in the mineral-rich region of the DRC in 2002 and 2003.
What has happened in Palma is an absolute horror being inflicted on civilians by a non-state armed group. That is what I can say. They have done horrific things. They are still doing so. We have reports this morning of continued sporadic clashes. What has happened in...
Apologize for the mix-up. Moving on now, we have some other stories for you to catch in.
Yeah, and that takes us straight to Mozambique, because we just teased that right here. Now, the United Nations have issued a humanitarian alert following reports that dozens of people have been killed during attacks by unnamed insurgents on the northern Mozambique town of Palma, which just heard there. But the attack marks a serious escalation of violence and volatility in the Cabo Delgado region.
In a statement, the spokesperson for the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs describes the attack as an absolute horror. We'll play that track we just played again for you.
Confirms by a majority the conviction having rejected.
Okay, I guess
Palma is an absolute horror being inflicted on civilians by a non-state armed group. That is what I can say. They have done horrific things. They are still doing so. We have reports this morning of continued sporadic clashes. That is why we are talking about our expectations of thousands of more people moving out from Palma district and towards other areas of the country and towards the border with Tanzania.
As of this morning, March 30, we can tell you that 3,361 internally displaced people, that's 672 families, have been registered by IOM's displacement tracking matrix They are arriving by foot, by bus, by plane, and by boat from Palma to Nangade, Mueda, Montepuez districts, as well as Pemba City.
This is the crisis where the violence has directly targeted civilians in villages and in cities in Cabo Delgado. Many have been killed and maimed, houses looted and burned, and the fields of these people have been destroyed. People have been chased from their homes and fled with very few possessions, in most cases without even their documents. The women and girls have been abducted, forced into marriages, in some cases raped and subjected to other forms of sexual violence. There are also reports of children being forcibly recruited into this insurgent armed groups.
It's really quite unfortunate when I hear, such a push to have things changed. I wonder who are the people who really should be listening and doing something to change this. It's the same leaders that need to do something that condemn, the atrocities that are happening. So whose responsibility is it to protect women and girls and people generally?
Lives and property.
It's just appalling.
So it's official. The United Nations clearly have issued a humanitarian crisis in the Cabo Delgado region of Mozambique and also Palma, that we have seen insurgents, killing. There's been rape and kidnappings, going on recently. In almost about a month now, I remember about 3 weeks ago, there were reports of beheadings of little children happening in that region. Really sad.
Okay, let's go on. Take this story from Nigeria. The Association for the Advancement of Family Planning has called for legislation to tackle Nigeria's population bulge. Now, the chairman of the association, Dr. Ejike Orji, says Nigeria's current insecurity crisis can be blamed on a youth bulge without adequate planning and resources to cater for their needs.
Now, Dr. Orji says Nigeria must take fertility reduction as a priority and emulate the steps on for sister nations that grew from third world countries to developed nations. Let's hear now from Dr. Orji.
Anybody who wants to find a solution to the problem in our country and does not feel that fertility reduction is not a place to put priority has actually started to fail from the start. People talk about China, people talk about India. Go and look at the history of those countries. 50 years on, before they were poor countries, they had to legislate on fertility control.
All right, so that's from the Nigeria Association for Advancement of Family Planning. Yes, so that's the chairman, Dr. Ejike Orji, Nigeria's Association for the Advancement of Family Planning. So we're talking about population, fertility reduction. Seconded.
Then is there something like thorded? So 1, 2, 3. I agree completely with him because we're talking about teenage pregnancy the other day, and we're also going to tie that into the conversation we'll be having about Namibia. Okay, sorry.
Okay, but the term fertility reduction,
You're just looking at the term. The message is stop having too many children. Only have children you can care for. There's so many children.
Examples
and besides, you don't
China.
actually have to have biological children. It's just this mentality we have across Africa that the child must come from your stomach for the child to be your child.
Yeah, we're talking about, it says Nigeria's current insecurity crisis can be blamed on youth bulge without adequate planning. Okay, fine, to cater for their needs. We're not as populous country. Yes, we are the most populated black country in the world, the #1 African country in terms of population, 200 million plus, fine. But we are 7th, if I'm not mistaken, behind Pakistan in terms of world population. You've got you've got China, you've got India, you've got the United States.
Let me speak my local dialect, Biko. How does this? Do we want more population? Are we in a population competition?
We're not saying it's population, but fertility reduction. When we should talk about capacity to really, deal with our population and make it work.
We will continue this conversation after the show.
No, these countries that have this population, they are putting the population to work. But fertility reduction.
You are not taking a stand, though. Are you for population reduction or population explosion? Which one?
I'm not for reduction or explosion, but as a Nigerian, when as an African, or even someone any partner, even a Westerner, you hear the word fertility reduction. You know, that rings a bell.
Anyway, let's continue. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we have a morning tea.
Yeah.
Stay with us.
The 31st of March 2020. Let's go straight to the morning papers. Where do you want to begin? Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the new era. It's the first thing on my screen, so just run with it. Struggle kids cannot be ignored. That's Gengo speaking. That's it on your screen. Kawana talks Namibianization. Let's take that again. Wow. Kawana talks Namibianization sends stern warning to new rights holders. That would be an interesting read if you're interested. That's
about fisheries, right? Based on the Fishgate scandal we had in Namibia last year. So Namibianization of the fishing waters, if I'm not mistaken. And I can see some good salmon. There's nice, tasty... Nice ones. Don't mind me, I'm just joking.
All right, now let's just look at this one. India warns against delaying vaccination rollout. Those are some of the things you see. I saw a bit of sports. I thought they captured Nigeria, but apparently they did not.
No,
this one is unrelenting. Cosmos maintains strong stance. You might want to catch up with that on page 24 of the paper.
All right, so let's go. Since we're in the southern part of Africa, from Namibia, let's go to South Africa with the Sowetan. There was this interesting one. I saw the clip yesterday, and they've gone for it on the top there, on the headline there. So it's gone with even Cyril feels Nexolo's love. President delays speech to watch legends. So this is a South African broadcaster on the SABC network yesterday, and she was broadcasting in local language. Not Zulu, I think it was one of them, but it was really beautiful to watch. And she was just going on and on and on in local, one of the local South African languages. It was just, with the...
Did you understand the things she said?
Yeah, but, I could feel lots of South Africans putting it on their status, because everyone was watching it. So they've gone with the one that says, even their president feels Nexolo's love as he delays his speech to watch her broadcast on TV.
That's nice.
Language.
That's culture and all of that. I love it.
Speaking about the president there, Easter is coming. Check this out. Easter booze sales banned. So there's been this talk about, since coronavirus started, about alcohol increase and spike in South Africa.
South Africa particularly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't we, have...
It says minor tweaks to level 1 lockdown restrictions will permit only on-site sales of consumption of alcohol. Religious gatherings allowed to a maximum of 500 congregants outdoors and 250 indoors. So Ramaphosa has come again for another speech. You talk about his, eloquence
he's
and
one of my favorite leaders across Africa.
Okay, and Bafana coach that's talking about in Seki says South Africa, SAFA will have to compensate in Seki. Has he been sacked? I'm not sure, but they've gone with one broke and broken. Bafana coach days numbered. So he's under pressure because South Africa have failed to qualify for the AFCON next year in Cameroon.
All right, let's jump to Nigeria and see what we have on the
West
Daily
Africa.
Independent. If we can have it on the screen now. Daily Independent, that's it. The valuation of Naira offers diaspora Nigerians cheap assets. That looks interesting. And then we also have just above the masthead, I'll never support tenure elongation for Buhari. That's the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, speaking. You might want to read that up if you're in Nigeria. There is a little rider I almost missed. Warns officials not to misadvise president on bills.
Speaking about the president himself, that's him there, Muhammadu Buhari.
Jetting out.
Yes, departure at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, going to London for routine medical checkup.
So when they keep using the word
routine medical
as if
checkup.
we're thinking alike. When they use the word routine, it bothers me to a certain degree, and I know a lot of Nigerians. Because if it is routine, why can't it be done at home? And then you remember all the promises and all the talk. People become a little fatigued with politicians. It just amplifies that fatigue we feel. Anyway, that's it on the Daily Independent this morning. There are lots of other headlines you might want to catch up on.
Let's go to East Africa before we go quickly. We can go straight to the Daily Nation in Kenya to see what they have. We've got little time. Let's rush there quickly to see what they have so we can wrap it up here. Daily Nation in Kenya, it says spy agents drones rattle politicians. All right, so well, all about drone cameras and accusations of
spying. Yeah, I think I saw. Let me look at what is there. He said, unmanned gadget flies into deputy president's compound, triggering a security alert. Because they don't know who was manning it. I think that's where the concern is, and they're thinking maybe a spy. Do we still have spies these days?
Well, I don't mind an African spy flick, Jai, at this point. All right, there was talk about one of the relatives, Kenyan relatives of the Obama family, passing away yesterday in Kenya, and they've gone for the big one, for a front page one. This one talks about Kwaheri Mama Sarah Obama, says as she led a simple life so far. Her funeral yesterday, conducted according to her Islamic faith. The Obama family matriarch Sarah Ogwelo Yango Obama was buried at Kogelo in Slayer County. So a relative of the Obama family. Clearly,
he put out a post on that as well, saying his family mourns her passing. But at least she lived a long life. Some people don't get that luxury. But she continued to rest in peace. The Herald is up next. Let's see.
All right, we'll take that one finally before we go. So the Herald, I think it comes from South Africa. That takes us down south. If we have the paper, let's have it on the front page. The Herald. To see what they have.
Okay, if we don't have that, we can move on to the Standard. Do we have the Standard?
I think we should. That's also coming from East Africa in Kenya. So the
there
Standard, BBI.
Violence top men in surprise BBI move. That's one this way, that way.
So building bridges initiative in the country.
Yeah, there's something on. Yeah, there's something here on page 4 of the paper that looks interesting. It says questions lingers as DP Kenyans get Sputnik jabs.
That's Russians. The coronavirus vaccine from Russia, Sputnik V. All right, so that's it for the front pages. We had to just elongate it a little bit this morning to take one or two papers. But we started in the south, in Namibia and the Sowetan in South Africa, came to Nigeria and West Africa, and finished up in the east with, the Standard and the Daily Nation in Kenya. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, it's all about our
tampon tax
topic, pink tax, that's what they call it.
Tampon
all right,
tax.
You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. All right then, welcome back. Still Breakfast Central with Olisa and Felicity on this Wednesday. Don't forget to catch us on social media at News Central TV is where to be. Instagram, Facebook, and not forgetting catching us on our website, newscentral.africa. We're still itching though to talk about
the tampon tax, but there is something else that happened in Nigeria yesterday. After a long hiatus, there was a game. Super Eagles, they played which country now? Lesotho, and we won. Over to you.
You're saying we. Okay, the Nigerian in you. All right, so Super Eagles of Nigeria played for the very first time. If you are based in Lagos, Nigeria, you would have, had witnessed the traffic and all the movement and, the green, white, green, the drums. Well, one person clearly who was also there, well, alongside myself, is our First Lady of Sports, so Onyechi Obaro, to tell us all about it. Onyechi, back from quite a long day at the National Stadium, but Super Eagles at least made it worth your while, did they?
Yes, they did make it worth a while, I'll say, but we all had to go through a lot. But the victory after the whole game maybe has taken away the whole pain. Okay, now looking at how they played yesterday, it was a wonderful day to watch the Super Eagles back in Lagos once again after a long time. People would say 20 years after they played Zambia, others would say 10 years after they did come up with that international friendly. But yesterday was a wonderful day also, as I would say earlier, to watch the Super Eagles as they finished 3-0 against Lesotho yesterday. Now the game, I would say, was just a wonder for them because they had nothing to lose. So trying to beat Lesotho is just trying to give that image that they are returning back to Lagos and maybe make Lagos fans, very happy because they had threatened them before. Now, looking at the fact that the stadium was filled, you can see for sure Lagos fans so enthusiastic over there to see the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We had to follow that COVID-19 protocol. Now, with one seat in between, saying do not sit there so that you can know that you can keep social distancing. Some of them could not even do that because a lot were in the stadium. But looking at also the supporters club came up to en masse for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, chanting a lot, singing the victory songs. And I think that was what really spurred the Super Eagles to win.
Yeah. We saw goals from Victor Osimhen, Ogunekaro Etebo, and the substitute Paul Onachu got in made it 3 goals to nothing. I also feel at all the stadium too. It was quite a day, you have to say, in terms of preparation. But let's give you, for those who are watching right now, that moment you talked about the supporters club and that buzz. So let's listen to once again in Lagos the sound of the chants of the Super Eagles. Wow, gosh, it just thunderous, the sounds of the Nigerian Lagos-based fans when the Super Eagles play. Nothing beats it totally.
Olisa, of course, you should know that even the supporters club, they have factions. 3 factions came out yesterday to cheer the Super Eagles. It was all jamboree, the whole thing joining up together, the sounds coming up together, but they were still making sense because we all needed the whole sounds we needed. All we can get yesterday.
8,000 fans thereabouts in the stadium, clearly not even anywhere close to capacity based on coronavirus restrictions. But let's talk about the game itself. It was dead rubber as far as Nigeria was concerned, but they still turned up the heat to win by 3 goals to nothing.
Yes, of course, they had to win. It was a necessary one. They had to win. But I would say Coach Genotro was able to have back in the fold Alex Iwobi, of course, who tested positive, they had said, in Benin Republic, but had to test negative at the game before Lesotho. Now, looking at that fact, having back Alex Iwobi to the fore, having a starting 11, the likes of Tyrone Eboye, the Oyibo Wall, Ogunekaro Etebo, not forgetting Wilfred Ndidi, who was very, very vital. He won the MVP of the game, getting 1 million naira and also a car. But would say he really, really deserved that MVP of the game because he had his interceptions, he had his duels, so neat coming from that defensive midfielder there. We can also forget the Chukweze's impact from the wing. It was also wonderful. We know that Kelechi Iheanacho could not get a goal, but he was able to get an assist for that first goal against for Victor Osimhen. He had that pass. But we can't also forget that substitute who was very vital, Paul Onuachu, coming in with the likes of Henry Onyekuru, and they both assisted with Paul Onuachu getting that goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right, Oyechi, so now that the Super Eagles are back in Lagos, is it a permanent return or just a one-off? From what we saw yesterday, pre-match, the fans outside, inside the game, the bars, the celebration and everything. Do you think perhaps there will be another return for the Super Eagles anytime soon?
Yes, I'm hoping that there would be, but what we saw yesterday, yes, Lagos is really ready to host the Super Eagles anytime, any day. But maybe not at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, but at the National Stadium, because so many people complained about the fact that they were not given access so early. They had to block some roads and the others before they had to enter. Those were the rules placed by the Lagos State government. If it wasn't a federal circumstance, it would have been different because the National Stadium, which just proxy to the Teslim Balogun Stadium, is so big that it can contain whosoever, even the parking space. They had issues issue of parking space yesterday because the stadium is a small one. But we are hoping that when they get to host again the Super Eagles or any match in Lagos, maybe it's going to be the National Stadium. But I will say from yesterday, Lagos is indeed ready to host any kind of match for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Onyechi Obara, our First Lady of Sports. I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about later about the return of the Eagles when it comes to in the game. But thank you very much, Onye. But just to let the sports fans know, other results coming your way yesterday when it comes to the AFCON 2021 qualifiers. So Nigeria beating Lesotho by 3-0. But the other results we did see, the likes of Ethiopia also playing. Yes, the Cameroon also having a draw against Rwanda. Mauritania have qualified, one in the way to CAR. Burundi not going anywhere. They were 1-1 draw with Morocco. Mozambique losing 1-0 to Cape Verde, who've qualified. And Guinea-Bissau have also qualified 3-0. Senegal won with Eswatini. Ivory Coast beating Ethiopia 3-0. Madagascar against Niger, 0-0. And Nigeria against Lesotho. The game between Sierra Leone and Benin, which is the same group with Nigeria, did not hold. So Nigeria have qualified, but we don't know between Sierra Leone and Benin who has qualified because the game did not hold. Why? About 6 players of the Benin Republic side tested positive for COVID-19 and the match could not hold, and there was a bit of back and forth. So CAF will have to give us a statement to know where we go from here. But that's about it from the AFCON played yesterday.
Yeah, for once I could understand half of what you said, so that's improvement.
All right.
All right, we will take on our first conversation now.
Yeah, I think we'll just take a quick breather from all that sports, digest it down a bit, let it simmer, and when we come back, yes, pink tax right here on the program.
Don't go away.
What's it about the Namibian government and this one about, pink tax and tampon tax and why it's important?
I'm actually really interested in seeing, I was hoping to get her perspective on it, on how we can make this tax relief for young women across Africa, not just Namibia, South Africa, and Tanzania, but across Africa. So women, it's not a taboo subject, but it seems it still is in certain parts of Africa.
And we can, with her, while we discuss that, we can now address the issue about period poverty. Yes, and what it means for women and young girls on the continent.
We look forward to that conversation. We apologize we couldn't have it today, but we will be back to it. We'll go now to our timelines.
All right, and I wonder who's going first. You?
Yeah, all right. I think I should today.
All right, let's have it.
Let's start with this one. It has to do with meals at a restaurant. Somebody put this up, and I thought we should take a look at it. Okay. That is the first part of it. As heard in a Nigerian restaurant, the person says, "What do you recommend?" The waiter says, "I don't know. It's not me that want to eat." That now is a Nigerian pidgin response. And then she says, "When will the food be ready?" The waiter says 15 minutes. And 15 minutes later, the lady asks, "How much longer do I have to wait?" The waiter says, "I don't know. I'm not the one cooking it." And she says she's crying. The aggressiveness of it continues. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
And then somebody in the comment section said, "What pastries do you have?" The sales girl says, "Meat pie, chicken pie, fish roll, and super roll." And I said, the lady says, "Oh, what's a super roll?" The sales girl says, "Madam, it's like sausage roll. There is meat, there is chicken, there is fish, and there is egg inside." And the part that's making me actually laugh is Kenzo. When Kenzo says, "When you asked how, the girl should have said, 'Madam, that's how we roll.'" So it's this thing about waiters not knowing what they have in their menu. And when you ask, they are like slightly partially aggressive with their responses. I'm not the one cooking. How am I supposed to know? That would be the response they give to you. So I found this pretty hilarious, especially when that person said, "That's how we roll."
But that's how we roll now.
That's how we roll. You know, if you're in Nigeria, in parts of Africa, actually, it's when you ask somebody, "What's up? What do you do?" or you do something fantastic, you say, "That's how we roll."
With fish roll and chicken roll, egg roll, all the rolls. Right?
Yeah.
Quite a funny one. All right, let's roll into mine. Quite an interesting one. So it's a video, I think, perhaps to share about. They talk about men and how they take part.
Menstrual pain.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the contractions for giving birth? Let's see it.
Yeah. So that's when you want to stop. Hey, you got the number 4. Stop. Okay, ready? You ready to go again? You got it. You got to 5. Give 5 a hand. Hold on.
Because that was the one that's wearing a JC. You can see that.
Yeah, so I think it's a machine, right? So it's a machine.
Yes, to simulate the pain women go through during childbirth. Contractions. Yes.
So a couple of men were lined up.
Yeah, and someone said, one of them, I wish we could actually see the video. The guy said, no, women. He actually did what some women do when they are in pain. They hold the hand of somebody, and he actually did that. You know, it's just a simulation. So men have an idea how women.
So they'll be connected to that machine, and it's going to be pressed. I think it's operated electronically.
Actually 4 slides there.
Wow.
And the second and the third guy.
Look at his face.
You can find it on social media. That's the handle that Hopoflex on Instagram. You go watch that video.
Well, so there you have it, guys. Would you want to be plugged into that machine to feel perhaps what it's like?
Respect
for
women,
contraptions.
basically.
Yeah.
You know, easy.
I think any guy who tries that or does that, you know, will clearly, once you see a woman who's pregnant,
you will do everything. Go all out. I think that thing was done as part of games during a baby shower.
Okay.
So that men can let's be part of the process and all of that. But it was fun to watch, and I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it as well.
Well, so I can't imagine, like, if I were to go through it, and maybe like my friends or colleagues or family members or like we Lagos guys and we do that, it means that we would not take, you will not have our eyes see another pregnant woman and not want to. It will be like a whole.
Yes, it's good. Don't worry. We have a lady that's pregnant at New Central here. So once she's doing her baby shower, we'll make sure we simulate it so you can feel it, and then you can come here and give testimony. Yeah. Testimony time.
Where can we find the machine? That's even true. If we can get the machine, then have it.
There's nothing you can't find online. Even that same Instagram. If we look seriously, we'll see.
Then I'll be like.
You can't even begin to imagine it. And that's from our timeline this morning. I hope you just go on Instagram. Aside from all the nonsense that you see there are really some very uplifting videos and posts that you can take your time and use productively.
Well, that's our package on the program today. We'll be with you again tomorrow. That's for sure on a Thursday. Yes, the first day of April 2021 as we get set for Easter weekend.
I'm actually looking forward. My kid sister is coming around, so I'm looking forward to that.
We'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Bye.